All right, for recording purposes, we're going to have the presenters come up front and you come up to the podium, present your answers. You got about 2 minutes per, so you don't have to make some grand speech. Quickly read what your scenario was, and then just say, everybody has the same 1 through 5. So you can say the first group, so that's going to be Everett's group. Read question 1, read question 2, read the questions. The rest of the groups just say for 1 we answered this, for 2 we answered that. All right, so Everett, who you got as your presenter? They're working on it, making his way up. We'll go ahead. We'll start with group 2. John, are you going to present for your group?
Yeah.
All right, so group 2 will go first. So John, you read off the questions. The following presenters will not read off the questions, the individual questions. So read your scenario, then your questions, then your answers.
Okay. All right, my scenario. Not really my scenario. You have been married for 15 years, and you come home one day to your spouse crying in the living room. I have a confession to make, your spouse says. I lied about my marriage when we met. My ex never cheated on me. I didn't think it was a big deal because I was not a Christian at the time, but the preacher's sermon Sunday got me thinking, and I at least want to come clean about the details. How will you act? Question number 1, what is the key point of concern in this situation? We had a few points of concern, the biggest of which was both of us at this point are living in sin. What scriptures would you consider in making your decision? The 2 main scriptures we would go to would be Matthew 19:9, Jesus addressing putting away your wife, and Luke 16:18. What would you respect an elder that ignored this? An elder that would want your kid, grandkid, little sibling to ignore this. And we unanimously said no. What would you do if you were in this situation and a fellow Christian found out and came to you and rebuked you in light of the scriptures listed above? The initial reaction was, we need to study it further. But there's a time limit on how long you can continue to live in sin before that brother comes back to you. So really, the right answer, I think, would be you need to deal with it immediately, especially if you know the scriptures, regardless of how in shock you are about it. How would you respond to someone who said, I don't think that doing this is technically a sin because the Bible does not specifically condemn it by name? And I would say the Bible doesn't have to specify everything by name. The book would be too long. Principles apply. Is that good?
That was excellent. Group 1, do you have a presenter? Come on up. I want to point out, too, as you're looking at question number 2, and Jonathan, you won't have to say what all the questions are. You can just say for 1, you read your scenario, say for 1 we did this, for 2. When you look at question number 2, the point to question number 2 is there's always people we look up to, and the ultimate of that is our elders. And there's always people that we set an example for, and that's usually people that are younger than us. So the point to number 2 is just a reality check of, would you respect the heroes of the church if they did this? And then would you want the people younger than you to follow you in this? So keep that in mind.
My scenario was is you and some coworkers are eating lunch together. They almost never invite you, but today they are particularly warm towards you. As lunch goes on, the conversation becomes increasingly sexually inappropriate. One of them looks at you and says, "You aren't saying much. Surely you have a story to share. How will you act?" The first question we answered, why am I invited to this lunch? Also, what are their persecution, or they are there to persecution, and also what will be their concern about their motive. The scriptures that we would consider would be Ephesians 5:11, 1 Corinthians 15:33, and 1 Peter 1:16. The third question, we said no altogether, and we said, but stand on the truth and still be a Christian. Also, fourthly, most human reaction would be to be angry at the very beginning, but after that, to thank the person with tears and humbleness. And then 5, we would see if that person would be willing to have a Bible study about the topic.
Thank you, John. Yeah, the rest that are going to present, come on up, be ready to go. You can go whatever order, because as long as you reach the narrative, it doesn't matter.
Okay, ours is a friend asks you to attend a drinking party. This friend knows you are a Christian, so she makes it clear that you will be a designated driver. How will you act? And we said this is a question of influence, and the friend should know, but this is also a great opportunity to tell your friend, I'm a Christian. Why would you even ask me this? For scriptures, 1 Thessalonians 5:22 says, abstain from all appearance of evil. Proverbs 20, verse 1, wine is a mocker. Romans 13:13, let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness. And then Wade hit the home run. 1 Corinthians 5:33, be not deceived, evil communication corrupts good moral. And I said, what? Put it in its context. What does that mean? And the evil communication in 1 Corinthians 15 are people who were saying there's no resurrection. And so that's the evil communication, there's no resurrection. And the verse before that says, so we could just eat, drink, and be merry. No, because there is a resurrection. And no, we would not respect an elder or a sibling. We would not want them to do that. If we did it and a fellow Christian came, you need to listen, repent, listen, and grow. And if somebody says, I don't see anything wrong, give them the scriptures. Thank you.
Situation. You cannot stand the way the song leader leads songs in worship. You do not accuse him of sinning, but you feel very confident that the way he does it is wrong. You overhear some people in the foyer discussing this very fact in hushed tones, and that was kind of a key phrase in there. Your ears pricked up, and you walk over, and you offer your similar views. On the way home, you really start to think about what you did, and so now, how will you act? Number one, key points of concern, was what the song leader was doing sin or not? And so that's kind of how we approached it first. Then we kind of flipped things a little bit and looked at ourselves, we being the ones that participated in the discussion, was what we were doing gossip. And keywords, hushed tones, it was hard to decide how that was not gossip, but I guess possibly maybe we were trying to figure out if what he was doing was sinful or not. And we all had good intentions. That's very difficult to surmise, but I guess it's possible. Okay, so again, was what he was doing sin or not? The song leader, is this a matter of tradition? What are the intentions of the song leader? And I guess the intentions of the people having the discussion. So all getting back to the point, is this sin or not? Getting attention on themselves as a song leader, so that was something as well. Some verses specifically about singing, Ephesians 5:19, Colossians 3:16 and 17. Then we thought about the concept of gossip and how that's addressed in Romans chapter 1, verses 29 and 30. Proverbs 6:16 through 19, it's listing a whole multitude of sins, specifically the verses in Proverbs about ones that God hates and how disgusting those things are to him, gossip being on that list. So was what we were doing a thing of gossip or not? Number 4, we kind of addressed last, but I guess we would feel ashamed if someone came to us. This person felt ashamed on their own on the way home. Number 5, the elders. Okay, so how would you respond to someone who said, I don't think doing this is technically sin? That was the whole center of our conversation to begin with, but say it was making us feel very uncomfortable what they were doing. Maybe they were getting a little over emotional up there, dancing and whatnot. Maybe they were pounding on the pulpit, but it's time to wrap up. And lucky you, Cedric.
We'll let Cedric will give his group's response next week. That's right.
First shall be last. Or how about this one? The last name is so next. All right, Mr. Jerry, all